Hello everyone. Today, I want to discuss whether it's worth looping every topspin with full force. Many players, especially those at a lower skill level, think that they should apply maximum force to generate as much spin as possible, enough to make the ball smoke and burn a hole through the table. They believe that the harder they spin, the better, so they try to spin everything to the maximum. Among experienced players, however, I believe you won't find anyone who thinks everything should be spun with maximum effort. But among players of that level who watch instructional table tennis videos on YouTube, there are many who think this way. I want to address this question and possibly dispel some misconceptions. By the way, while we're creating interesting and useful videos and reviews for you, visit our TT Maximum store more often for purchases. It will be the best way to thank us for our videos. So, I know several reasons why you shouldn't spin every topspin with full force. The first reason is that not all balls are equally suitable for this. Some balls are easier to spin hard, while others, if you attempt a powerful topspin, likely to fly past the table. Therefore, it's easier to play them in some other way, such as simply pushing them to the other side and keeping the rally going. In other words, continuing the rally is always better than non-hitting the table. The second reason why you shouldn't spin every topspin with full force is if your opponent uses equipment like long pimples or anti-spin rubbers and knows how to use them effectively to return the spin you put on the ball. The stronger you spin, the more spin will come back to you. This is a classic example of tactically inexperienced attackers at a lower level losing against defenders and anti-spin blockers. They happily spin everything with maximum force, the opponent returns it even more joyfully, the attacker struggles with the return due to the intense spin. Oops, what an unexpectedly tough situation thanks to those cursed long pimples. It's a karmic property, spin with passion and receive it back with interest. And if you can't handle what comes back, it's because your technique wasn't sufficient. Of course, blame those sneaky pimple players and anti-spin players. That's why they should be banned. If you agree with me, please like this video right now. And if you disagree, subscribe to our channel faster. For those of you who just woke up and didn't understand a thing, let me explain, this is a joke. Of course, do subscribe, like our videos, and come to our store for rubbers and blades. And we recommend you improve your tactical savvy. If you see your cunning opponent successfully returning your spins with a sly smile, like Tom in Tom and Jerry cartoons, then probably everything is going well for them and not so well for you. Everything you spin comes back to you. The stronger you spin, the harder it is for you to handle the return. So, don't tie yourself in knots and attack with heavy spin against such opponents. Instead, avoid spinning too much so that strong returns don't come back at you. Use your head. Do what's uncomfortable for your opponent, not the other way around. Invent something sneaky and, by the way, you will be able to improve your tactical thinking. For example, if you spun with passion and your opponent returns everything, just give the ball a gentle push with an open racket. Force your opponent run to the table. Most likely, his goal will just be to return the ball to your side, making it much easier for you to attack again. Here's a simple improvement to the previous dumb strategy. Instead of self-destructing, unload the spin and then resume your attack. Then unload again and resume. And if you light a cigarette and think even harder, you might figure out that you need to force your opponent to lift the ball higher. Then you can smash a flat shot with all you proletarian hatred. After doing this a few times, your opponent will lose confidence, realizing his long pipes and anti-spin aren't magical anymore, and it's time to change it to something else. Basically, if you can't ban long pimples and anti-spin rubbers in your gym, improve your tactical savvy. And definitely, subscribe to our channel right now if you haven't already. Next, the third reason why you shouldn't spin every topspin with full force if you want to win, your opponent's adaptation. When you spin everything with full force consistently, if your opponent isn't a complete fool, they'll notice and adjust. He will adapt to your strong spin, pray for protection from hard spins, adjust his technique and tactics, and rebuild his game. He will get used to you spinning everything like you have an atomic battery inside you. Eventually, it won't bother him as much as it did at the beginning. Then you'll find yourself having lost the match and owing him a beer. So, here's another reason not to spin everything with full force, when your opponent actually loves strong spins and finds it easier to play that way. You'll be spinning super duper top spins, and for him, it'll be a comfortable playing mode. At that moment, you need to summon your willpower, engage your brains, and come up with something else to make it less comfortable for your opponent. Try one thing, then another, then a third. See how your opponent reacts. Maybe he will have problems with something. Maybe if you give him less spin, he will hit more balls into the net. Maybe he is not used to that and will hesitate and glitch, which happens quite often. Maybe you'll come up with something else. Maybe your opponent struggles with something specific on the forehand or backhand. Or they only like fast-paced play, and slowing down the pace makes them make mistakes and play more passively. Use your opponents as free sparring partner to develop your tactical thinking. These are the reasons to consider whether it's worth straining yourself and spinning every topspin with full force. If everything's going well, you can keep spinning, but if not, it's a reason to introduce tactical and technical variety into your game and learn to anticipate the game a few steps ahead. What leads to what can be changed to make it harder for the opponent, etc. That's all for now. If you have any questions about technique, tactics, dialectics, trigonometry, or other fascinating topics, ask them in the comments under the video. Bye for now.